Hey, good day, people. So I thought I would try to do a quick video here on some of the different techniques that people use for meditation within forms of Buddhism and particularly Zen Buddhism. And I I don't think that these are designed to bring, ultimate liberation. They're not for nirvana or moksha. You're not going to, uncoil the kundalini, but they are sort of practical, everyday Zen meditations, and they're, I think, useful when fully implemented and thoroughly practiced. Okay, so the first meditation technique is you close your eyes, and while your eyes are closed, you you attempt to limit or focus all of your attention only to the process of your breathing. So you let all other thought just wash away. It's not that you try to stop thinking, not that you try to combat thought, but if you notice thought drifting away from attention toward your breath, you just focus it back toward your breathing. And you want a good 5-10 minute spells of eyes closed, conscious, directed focus on your breathing. And if you're doing it really well, very focused, you'll notice in some way all other thought kind of fades away. It's not that there's brain death. You're not without thought at all, but thought becomes very focused. It gets a very meditative state where you're simply breathing in its flow, in its in and out, just so occupies attention that there's very little room for other kinds of thought. Okay, and you want to get that one down. And then the next one is you, with eyes wide open, you try to become fully the visual field as best you can see it. And it's almost like you squeegee open your eyes until you're nothing but eyeballs. I mean, you just literally try to look and see how long you can extend that focused look. Even if you might have to wander your eyes around a little bit. And if you notice, when you really, really look, and I mean, pay attention, there's a momentary quieting of thought. There's like a momentary silencing of thought. Now, if you see how long you can continue to see the world in its suchness, in its immediacy, you find that you can extend it, but suddenly you go, oh, look, I'm not thinking. And then there's that thought of you thinking about you not thinking. And it sort of collapses. But I think there are, I guess, practices where we can learn how to extend the amount or the length of time that doesn't feel as if conscious thought is occurring, but instead there's radical attention to the situation in its full presentness. Okay. Now that, again, you want to exercise that 5-10 minutes a day. And one of the things I notice here about this one is that when you do really look and you stare, and again, it's not really staring. Staring is wrong, because staring is often like vegetative. This is an attempt to, with full consciousness, make all of the visual field so attended to that it just liquidates consciousness. It just occupies consciousness to such an extent that there's no room for extraneous thought. I mean, it's just sort of present. But what happens is, in some way, the tendency will be to stop breathing. That you'll momentarily halt your breath while you're really looking. And it'll be normal. Okay, the third technique is, again, really to be mastered after you've sufficiently practiced technique 1 and technique 2. And the technique 3 is a sort of hybrid combination. You keep your eyes wide open. Again, you're practicing the eye technique of fully looking at the present situation as it is, focusing on it, while simultaneously directing as much, if any, residual attention you have on your breathing. So you really have two, if anything, objects of consciousness. One, You're breathing and you're trying to control it in a regulated manner, steady streams of in and out. And with your eyes, while you're doing that, you're seeing to what extent you can simply let the immediate visual present field occupy consciousness. You have this sort of the visual field in its immediate situation and your breath. And as those become the only two objects of consciousness, there's a quelling of the mind, a kind of quieting or silencing of it. And okay, now again, I don't think it's a brain death. That's not what we're after. You're not somehow. It's not literally a silent thought. It's sort of like what Alan Watts would say. It's quietly doing nothing yet leaving nothing undone. It's learning how to attend to what normally we have in the Western world, anyway, disattended to. That is, most people, they can hardly see what's in front of them and in their world, and they're really out of tune with their body. They're so enwrapped in thought, in abstract ideas, in things that are impossibly, complex for them to ever really deal with, and yet those become preoccupations by a worrying mind. It's as if worrying is a disease of a mind that's out of touch with its present situation or its own body.